Hi everyone! In this video, we will give 10 tips for Bulgarians to adapt when they are going to live in or visit Indonesia. The first one is that Bulgarians should avoid giving direct negative feedback to Indonesian. According to the 8th cultural dimension, Bulgarians prefer to give direct negative feedback and Indonesia prefer it to be indirect. We find it hard when we are confronted directly and do not know how to act properly during those times. The second tip is that Bulgarians should avoid confrontation with an Indonesian. According to the gap analysis, Bulgarians tend to be more confrontational. This is not a good idea to do since Indonesians are relationship-based. They believe that any argument will deteriorate the relationship. The third tip is for them to be open-minded about the cultural differences. Even though Bulgaria's culture is quite similar to Indonesia's culture, there are some things that might not be understandable. The point is not to use the logic too much and try to go with the flow. As long as you respect them, they will respect you.
Alright, now on to the fourth tip. We believe that it will be good if Bulgarians give a little bit of smile when meeting with an Indonesian. Doesn't matter if you know the person or not. The simple act of smiling is basically showing politeness and friendliness, especially towards the general population of Indonesians. The next one is the fifth tip. Bulgarians should be careful when choosing their words in Bahasa Indonesia. They should substitute the word to make it much more appropriate and much more fitting in the context that they're in. An example of this would be using the word mati instead of meninggal when addressing the death of a human, death of a person. Then the next one is the sixth tip, is that since Asia has a culture of paying great respect to the elderly, including Indonesians, Bulgarians should know that when talking to elders, it is much more proper if you take into account the words that you are using.
So for the seventh tip for Bulgarian is to read non-verbal cues when communicating with Indonesian. We have the habit of smacking our lips to express the annoyance or fatigue, like this. Like that. For the eighth tip, Bulgarians should know Indonesia is a very religious country. They believe in 6 religions, that is Islam, Protestant, Catholic, Buddha, Hindu, and Confucianism. Thus, we suggest them to respect the religion in Indonesia if they want to be accepted in the society. For the ninth tip is that to wear appropriate clothes when visiting certain place or attending certain event. For example, it is not appropriate to wear tank top when you are going to a church. The chance of you to getting rejected is very high. And so for the last tip, we think that Bulgarians should not be afraid to ask a question to Indonesia. The reason why is because Indonesians are very friendly when you approach them. And it is better to make sure that you are doing the right thing and the right question. Thank you.